If you're a first-time parent, you know this feeling. It's 3 a.m, you haven't slept properly in weeks. You're running on fumes.
We were pretty broken.
So you pick up your phone and you scroll social media, parenting forums, looking for anyone who has the answer.
Let's actually look, is the baby feeding well?
And that's exactly when you find them, the self-described sleep experts, the sleep fairies, the baby whisperers.
We can swaddle the arms, which helps baby feel very safe and secure.
They've got thousands of followers, and they promise you sleep. They promise your baby will be transformed.
What I do works. What I say works.
But what if that promise came with something you never signed up for?
I can't tell you to do this, but every baby I work with sleeps on its front.
You cannot be doing this. You're a danger to infants.
I didn't expect the level of advice to be as dangerous as it was.
If you put like a rolled up towel either side of her waist, so it's low down, like under her arms.
Wow.
Having those extra things in the cot is a risk factor.
So we decided to go undercover to expose some of the bad, even dangerous advice that families say they have been given by some self-described baby sleep experts or consultants. Our investigation started with parents telling us about their experiences. New mum Emily was one of them. When her son turned 4 months, she says his sleep became a massive challenge.
It got to a point where we were on like hourly wake-ups, and as first-time parents, we just needed help.
Sleep deprived and pretty desperate, Emily did what so many parents do. She went online, and one name kept coming up again and again.
My feeds were just sort of full of her, references to her. It looked like she had lots of followers. A lot of my friends I could see were following her on social media.
Alison Scott-Wright, the self-described magic sleep fairy. She claims to be an infant reflux and sleep expert. She's got nearly 40,000 followers. She's written baby sleep books, worked with celebrities, and even been on TV sharing her baby sleep secrets.
As I say, sleep breeds sleep. I never wake a sleeping baby at night unless there's a medical reason to do so.
Emily paid over £500 for a consultation with Alison.
Which is a huge amount of money. But when we were literally on our knees and we thought this could solve everything, we thought it would be worth it.
But Emily says what happened in the consultation left her shocked.
She decided to diagnose our son with reflux, and that's why he wasn't sleeping, because he was in constant pain. And we hadn't recognised this pain. And I think that's when I got upset, because it felt like she was really accusing us of not picking up on this with him.
Emily says Alison suggested medication for her son's reflux without any mention of speaking to a health professional first. Then Emily says it gets worse. Alison advised her to put her son to sleep in an unsafe position.
Once she'd decided that my son had reflux, she just said he needs to be sleeping on his front, he needs to move to full weaning and water, you need to go to the pharmacy and get infant Gaviscon, you need to be using suppositories.
That advice to sleep a baby on their front goes against NHS guidelines because of robust research that shows it increases the risk of sudden and unexplained death in apparently healthy babies in their sleep under the age of 1. That's known as SIDS, used to be called cot death. Cases have dropped significantly since a big public health campaign in the early 1990s advising parents to place your infant to sleep on their back.
We've known for well over 35 years now that babies are more likely to die when they're placed on their fronts than when they're placed on their backs. It is the most consistent finding of all of the SIDS case control studies that have been done worldwide. So that's why everybody is given, back to sleep guidance.
But some people working with babies are not following that advice. You might have read about the recent inquest that found 4-month-old Madison Bruce Smith, the grandson of football manager Steve Bruce, died whilst asleep in his cot, having been placed on his front by an unregulated maternity nurse. That's the same age Emily's son was when she says Alison gave her that unsafe advice.
I was really, really upset. Really upset. I felt quite preyed upon.
The baby sleep industry is booming, but it's completely unregulated. Anyone can call themselves a baby sleep expert or consultant. There's no checks, no oversight, and no accountability. We've spoken to parents who say they have been given safe sleep advice, but we've also uncovered a dangerous side of this industry. Dozens of families say they've received dangerous advice from multiple self-described sleep experts. They include several parents who say they paid for Alison's support. So we went undercover to see exactly what happens in her one-to-one consultations. This BBC producer posed as a new mum of a 9-week-old baby who was waking frequently during the night. Pretty typical at that age.
Hiya.
Oh, hello, Matilda. Hi, how are you?
We paid £4.50 a minute for a video consultation. It lasted 50 minutes.
I think I thought sleep would be better by now.
Well, it should be. To be fair, it should be.
Okay.
The producer described her genuine experience with her healthy newborn daughter nearly 2 years ago. But during the 50-minute call, Alison suggested frequent night waking might be caused by a number of underlying issues without ever seeing the baby. Here's a snapshot of some of those issues.
She's evidently got a tummy problem then. I do wonder if she's got a cow's milk protein issue. It may well be that she has got a tongue tie. We don't necessarily have to jump to she's got reflux, but that there's a big alarm bell. There's a big red flag there for me. I think it would be prudent, if you can bear it, to remove dairy from your diet.
Nearly 30 minutes in, there's this.
I can't tell you to do this, but every baby I work with sleeps on its front.
Right.
I'd never do back sleeping. I don't agree with it. And in a situation like this, it could be that that's the problem. Because I'm telling you now, the front sleeping is an absolute game changer. And it's one of the biggest travesties of modern day parenting when everyone says you've got to sleep them on their back.
At the end, we probed Alison's qualifications.
I'm right in you were a midwife, weren't you? Is that right?
Originally, yeah, many years ago, but I mean, I don't have my licence or my nursing practice and all that now. I never kept it up. And, you know, honestly, what I do now, there is no qualification that anyone could have for what I do.
See, that's what I think is so concerning about her.
We asked 2 medical professionals to review that call.
I don't know how you feel about it, and I can't tell you to do anything different, obviously. But every baby I consult over or go to work with hands-on will end up on its front at some point.
Every baby she goes to work with hands-on will sleep on their front. I just find that, but there's no one to regulate her. I find it terrifying that there is nobody to say to her, you cannot be doing this. You're a danger to infants.
I think this is fundamentally the most dangerous thing that she has said so far.
Makes you feel a bit sick.
It does.
Listening to it.
It makes me feel sick. The Back to Sleep movement campaign is one of actually the biggest successes that we have in paediatric medicine. And she keeps reiterating that she can't give this advice, and yet she is very forcefully saying that actually that is the advice I'm giving you. We're not talking about mild harm, on the harm scale here, we're not talking about a baby getting a cold, we're talking about a baby having cot death.
Was there anything that you heard that you thought, actually that's useful information, that could help the mother?
No.
I was absolutely shocked actually watching this. I didn't expect the level of advice to be as dangerous as it was.
In a statement, Alison did not respond specifically to our questions about front sleeping. She said she has helped a multitude of babies and families. These parents had already sought help from NHS and private health professionals, but remain concerned about their baby's distress. Her role is then to support them in navigating these challenges alongside, not instead, of medical advice. Medical professionals have told us the growing baby sleep industry is driven in part by the limited availability of postnatal support for new parents. Alison isn't the only popular baby sleep expert we've heard concerns about. Lisa Clegg is another. Also known as the blissful baby expert, she's got nearly 100,000 Instagram followers.
Hi, is that Lisa?
Yes.
We also did an undercover consultation with Lisa. It cost £200 for a phone call that lasted 50 minutes, with a month of follow-up support. Our producer used the same backstory, a mum with a 9-week-old who was waking regularly during the night.
Having your white noise on and the room dark and using the muslin.
NHS guidelines say a baby's sleep space should be completely clear to reduce the risk of sudden and unexplained death. That means no pillows, towels, bumpers, or anything that holds a baby in one sleeping position. But Lisa suggested otherwise.
Depending on how big the crib is, if you put like a rolled up towel either side of her waist, so it's low down, like under her arms, that again like squishes her, like almost makes her feel like she's still squished in your arms.
Then, 40 minutes into the call, Lisa brings up the towels again.
Another way of kind of keeping her squished in is if you use the rolled up towels by her waist, that kind of keeps her in position as well, so she can't roll.
Although she acknowledges that it needs to be, she says, below the level of the arms, having those extra things in the cot in itself is a risk factor.
Do you have any like photos of what that would look like, or
I can
and also
you
the
kind of a rough picture of kind of
that
what
would be
it
great.
would look like.
Lisa sent us 2 photos of young babies asleep in their cot as an example of what other parents had done. We don't know the identity of the infants in those pictures, so we're not going to show you them. We did share them with our medical professionals.
Wow. That's quite shocking because it's not just 2 rolled up muslins under the armpit. There's one actually behind the head and the baby's not on their back, they're on their side.
That's a really tiny baby as well. I would say that's a newborn baby basically. And therefore they really have no motor skills at all. And the fact that that baby's propped on their side could so easily, without even needing to actually roll, just gravity could take that baby onto their front.
Right. There are just so many concerning features in this image, isn't there? And that she felt no concern sending this. That there was nothing to be called out.
There's actually another image you can see as well.
I thought the first one was bad. Wow.
So that cot's absolutely full of things. You've got blankets on both sides, baby swaddled, and then things all round their head.
I actually couldn't pick out really any safe features here.
You know, that's not the kind of age of baby that is going to be able to get themselves out of that situation.
The fact that she's advocating for people to do this as a professional that people are turning to for her to help them just makes me feel really angry that vulnerable parents are being given this advice and being put in this situation.
How are you feeling after hearing and watching what you have today?
In both of these calls, there have been moments where if a mother did do exactly as these people have advised, they would be increasing the risk for their children. I think we're both very clear that this is not one size fits all infant sleep advice is dangerous, but it is very clear that there is a dark place that we've found here that needs to be exposed and that families need to know exists.
Absolutely.
Lisa Clegg told the BBC she has successfully advised thousands of parents on sleep and says none of this advice has ever been dangerous or put babies at risk. Parents come to her because of lack of support from the NHS. On the Safer Sleep guidelines, she told us that everyone is free to choose what parts they follow or do differently. She said rolled up towels are positioned under the armpits and well away from the face, so no danger of asphyxiation. This MP is calling for urgent regulation after the death of Madison Bruce Smith, the grandson of Steve Bruce.
We had this tragic case in my constituency of a 4-month-old who died after being put in an unsafe sleeping position by someone describing themselves as a maternity nurse. And I worry that babies are at risk every day that these kind of unsafe practices are being followed. That's why it's so important that we get the regulation we need and we have proper government action to tackle this issue.
Emily did eventually find someone who gave her safe advice and reassurance. There was nothing wrong with her son, and his sleep was normal for his age.
I have a really happy, bubbly, active, interested little boy who is doing what a little one should be doing.
But while the baby sleep industry remains unregulated, there's no way for parents like Emily to know who they can trust.